Well, good morning, Candace. Can you please introduce your business and where you're located and maybe like a brief history of how you got into photography?
Yeah, so my name is Candace and my business is CLO Photography, and CLO are my initials. So Candace Lynn Alice are my initials. And I am based out of Huntsville, Alabama. So photography, I got into photography by doing nature photography. So my husband was active duty Air Force, and we did a lot of traveling. We were stationed in Europe for 7 years. And so while we were over there, we just traveled extensively, took advantage of the opportunity. And I really got into nature photography and kind of street photography a little bit, just like wherever we traveled, like I just took pictures. So I did that for a long time. And then friends were asking, like, can you take my family photos or baby photos or whatever? And so I just kind of realized I really love the people aspect of it too, and it just kind of turned into a business.
What are some of the top, maybe one or two pieces of advice that you'd give to somebody if they were looking for a photographer in your space to help them find someone who is good for them?
So I think my first piece of advice is to kind of decide ahead of time what your budget's going to be. And keep in mind that many photographers do have payment plans. And so if you want an experience or you want a product that might be out of your immediate price range, realize that you can plan ahead of time, utilize a payment plan, and still get the results or products that you want. And then the second piece of advice, I would say to look around and view different styles of photography, posing and lighting and editing, specifically editing, because that can vary so much from photographer to photographer, and it changes over time. Like what's popular now isn't going to be later. So make sure you're looking around and you find something that you like and that you're going to like a few years from now, and search out photographers who have that style.
Well, speaking of kind of client experience and keeping that in mind, can you talk a little bit about your own experience you have with your clients and how it may be different from maybe someone they've been to before?
Sure. So my client experience is like, that's the core of my business. Like I want every person who comes through my doors to feel more beautiful or more handsome than they did before they got here. I want them to feel more confident than they did. And I just want the experience to be something that just makes them feel special and unique. So the client experience, I think a lot of people, like they have one thing in mind when they hear client experience or even luxury experience, to mean like flashy or super expensive or, but it doesn't have to mean those things. Like for me, that means luxury experience or an excellent client experience is taking as much off my client's plate as possible. So, and that starts with our consultation phone call. Like I learn absolutely as much as I can about them, their needs, what they're looking for. And a lot of times during that phone call, I'll learn that there is a deeper need beyond I just need photos. Like maybe, for example, having a phone call with a woman whose father had Parkinson's and his health was declining. So getting a family photo shoot in while granddad was still well enough to do that, like there's something deeper beyond we just need family photos, right? Like these are photos that are going to be treasured for years and years to come. And so I like to get to know my client on the phone and try to figure out if there is a deeper need beyond needing photos. And then like, I don't send my clients a booking proposal. I manually book them on the phone because that's part of my luxury client experience. I'm going to take all the work off your hands and I'm going to do the work for you. I go to my client's home and I help them pick out their wardrobe for the session. And that aspect is something that I think is probably one of the worst parts of photo sessions for clients, is choosing what to wear. Like that's the most daunting part. So I come to your home and we will go through your clothes together. And all of my sessions include multiple wardrobe changes. And so we'll pick out everything. And if it's a family shoot, we'll pick out the whole family's wardrobe, and we'll match colors or patterns or whatever it is. We'll get you set up down to jewelry and accessories so that you don't have to worry about that. And then again, at the ordering appointment, I help you go through your photos and I help you, we'll look at expressions and see like, I think this one's a bit better. Like I walk them through every step of the way. And my clients really appreciate that. So something else that I do, and maybe we're going to talk about this later, I don't know, but I do custom wall art. And so that's a big part of my client experience. So I come to your home, and it's usually when we do the style and concept consultation, when we're picking out your clothes and we're discussing what all we're going to be doing during the shoot. I'll ask you, like, where do you think you might want to put some wall art? Not everyone wants wall art, and that's fine. But if they do, we're gonna look at those spaces. And while I'm there, I put on my decorator's hat for a little bit. And so I kind of look at your decor and your colors and patterns and fabrics. And so when I go home and I'm editing your photos, I'm going to do some mock-ups of wall art. And I custom design those frames to your home, to your decor, so that I can come in. This is another part of my client experience. I hand deliver all of my wall art and my assistant installs it for me. So clients don't have to worry. I mean, who orders photos or framed art and then it just sits there for weeks or months waiting to be hung on the wall? So we take care of that. You don't have to worry about that. You can enjoy your art right away. And so we come in and your art is beautifully designed to match your home, like it's supposed to be there. So yeah.
What is like one or two things maybe that you would like the public to know about either photography in general as a profession or your specialties?
So first thing, I'll share two. The first, I think a lot of people, just because they don't know, a lot of people think that they're paying for you to come and take their photos and then to deliver their photos, right? And they know you do some editing. They don't know how much work goes into it. But I think a lot of people would understand our pricing better if they understood all the work and the time that goes into learning how to photograph and photograph well and how to edit. And even things like learning how to provide a good client experience, like that took time and learning as well. As long as you are a legitimate business, there will always be overhead, and that's factored into pricing as well. So like when I first started my business, I thought, oh, I love doing this. People tell me I'm good at it. I'll just start a photography business, having no idea. Like it was a shock to me to learn like it wasn't just starting a business and getting a business license. There's so much more to it than that. And so all of that goes into factoring our cost. It's more than just our time and our effort of taking the photos. So, and then the second thing is I'd like to talk a second about beauty portraits. That is not a very common term in the industry. And so when I say beauty portraits, what I'm talking about, it's kind of a mix of a fashion shoot, a little bit of boudoir, not a lot, but like it's a little mixed in, and then old school, like 90s glamour shots. Like it's a mix of all those things come together. And so they are super fun, and we get to, these are mostly women shoots. If I have a man who comes and wants to do a shoot, it's more, I call it more of a fashion shoot that just feels more appropriate for him, but it's mostly women. And so it's fun to really fuss over hair and makeup, lipstick color, and they break out these really amazing dresses or heels and jewelry. And I think in the same sense as boudoir, like it can be really empowering for a woman to recognize her beauty through a lens and to see this finished product of this amazingly beautiful image of herself, framed art that she can hang on her wall. So yeah, like in the same sense that it's empowering, like boudoir is empowering for women, it's the same for these beauty sessions. And it just really builds up their confidence. It's really a beautiful thing.
Do you find that there is a specific goal that they have with those photos? Like, are people coming to you mainly for beauty photos because like maybe they're actresses or models, or is it just like strictly like, I just want to pamper myself and I think this is fun?
It's more the pampering. So it's more the opposite of like actresses or models. It's women who are turning 40 or turning 50 and they want to feel young and beautiful again. Or maybe someone who they've gone through a divorce and they just need to feel good about themselves for a bit, or maybe just take their minds off their everyday life for a little bit. So there's all kinds of reasons that a woman might come in for beauty shots, but it's never because they're an actress or a model. They want to feel more beautiful about themselves. It's not that they already do. So I don't know, it's a really great job to be able to help people realize their own beauty. It's a fulfilling job for me to be able to give that gift to them, if that makes sense.
Have we missed anything? Where can people find you online or social media?
So I'm on Facebook at CLO Photography. Is it CLO Photography AL? I think is what it is. And then on Instagram, which I'm not super active on Instagram. I basically use it as like another portfolio. But it's CLO_photog_AL. And then I have a website, which is clo-photography.com.